So I completely restarted my game, from looking like this piece of shit to this beautiful work of art. Now I know it's been a while since my last devlog, so I'm gonna try and cram as much information as I can into this one. Anyways, welcome everyone. Those who are new, I'm currently working on a multiplayer FPS with destruction physics, inspired by CSGO and Valorant. Now, there are multiple reasons why I ended up restarting my project, which I hope some of you guys can learn from. Honestly, I made a lot of mistakes and it would be great if you guys could catch it on early. My old game was terrible. I came into development without a game plan, just winging it. No GDD, no game idea, just hoping for the best. It was a great learning opportunity, but in no way could be something I can release. During development of my previous project, a lot of my code was not structured and just put together. You could basically call it spaghetti code. So changing the game into what I really wanted would mean remaking it. So I trashed the project and restarted it. Now, let's talk about the real project and see what changes I've done. One of the major changes I did was the weapons. I really wanted to make the gameplay feel nice, responsive, and smooth. In order to do that, I really had to dive in and leave my comfort zone. I had to learn animating. As most of you know, animating is not an easy task, so don't let me fool you. I promise you I almost quit multiple times. When it comes to the games I'm aiming for, they really focus on animations. As in Valorant, whenever you equip a gun, you get a really satisfying feeling, so I tried my best to achieve the same feeling. I spent weeks making animations and learning how to make it feel natural. There's a lot of components when it comes to animating, like the curve graph, which I still have no clue what to do with it, but I mean, for my first FPS animations, I didn't do a bad job. I definitely had some help along the way, so thank you to those. There are multiple guns in my game, and I plan on adding at least 1 or 2 more weapons like a shotgun and maybe a submachine gun before I release to give variety. The minigun and RPG are power-ups, which mean they can only be found on the map and have very limited ammo, mainly used to destroy paths and give an advantage when needed. Now as you see here, this is the result of all the animations being used. I also am using procedure recoil, so it's more random and doesn't look the same every time it shoots. But overall, I think the outcome was exactly what I wanted. Each gun has a shooting animation, reload animation, and equipping animation. I was gonna make a walking animation, but I'll probably just make that part procedural. I'm not gonna cover every gun and the reasoning behind it, as some of them are the same, just with different parameters. Those who watch my old devlogs know I wanted the sniper to be more realistic and actually zoom in on the scope, but unfortunately having a door around the camera just for the scope caused way too much of a performance hit. The minigun only has 50 bullets, so use them wisely. The bullet spread on the minigun is quite a bit in order to balance the minigun and mainly used for breaching and not overpowered against enemies. The rocket launcher will only have 1 missile, mainly used to destroy walls and breach through. If you are shot with the rocket and have full health and shield, you will be left with a small bit of health, so it's not an instant kill. As far as the effects going on, I'm using 2 main parts, a muzzle and a bullet trail. The muzzle is just a bunch of cubes with an emissive material to replicate a muzzle effect, along with some slight smoke. I'm not the greatest with particles, so I tried my best. The bullet trail consists of a sphere with an emissive material also, and a particle system that emits squares over time to recreate a smoke trail effect. And when you put them together, you get this. My favorite part of the game so far has to be the destruction. I mean, who doesn't love some nice destruction? In my old project, I really didn't get around to polishing it, and it honestly wasn't so great as seen. Here, the walls were a bunch of cubes, which 1 is not good for performance, and 2 looks terrible. Now, in the new version, I actually took my time to use self-fracture in Blender, which gives it a very natural look. When using power-ups to breach, you really feel like you're destroying the map, which was my intention. I've always hated the idea of campers, so adding this into my game was a great way to counter that. Instead of traditional paths of going through doors and just waiting for someone to kill you in the corner, you can destroy that wall and make sure no one's there beforehand. The way I'm managing the system is basically each wall has 2 types, a non-broken type and a broken type. When the wall is broken, the non-broken is hidden and enables the broken mesh, which is split up by nodes. So if a piece is shot, all the pieces in that node will be given a rigid body to simulate physics, since if they always have rigid bodies, performance would be absolutely terrible. The part I had the most trouble on has definitely been the art style and level design. I'm not creative in that aspect, so when it came to level design, that definitely was my weakness. At the moment, I currently have 3 maps, 2 which are usable and 1 of them needs work. The first map was made by a close friend, Monster. We wanted to go for a skyscraper themed map where everything was destructible. As all maps have, there are 2 bombs and 2 power-up locations. This map is honestly more of a sniper map, so it's quite hard to actually plant the bomb and defuse and go with the gameplay, but it overall came out pretty good. Now the second map, which is by far my favorite, was made by a friend, and he's actually working on a project, a multiplayer game called The Last Path. So definitely go support Rylan. I'll leave his link in the description. Now this map is a lot different than the first map. There's actually more strategy behind it, from the bomb's positioning to where the walls are destructible. I really feel that this map makes it feel more serious and actually having to put thought into your movement, instead of just shooting across the sky when you see someone. I know it's been a while since my last devlog. I spent a lot of time remaking this project from the ground up, inspired by Valorant and how strategic the game is. I really felt like destruction would be a nice add-on to the game like that. As always, make sure to join our Discord, be updated at all times. I'm currently looking for playtesters, so stop by. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Peace.